Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to match previews for the doubleheader this weekend against Marseille on Saturday, so tomorrow, and then Sunday night, wrapping up the preseason against Villarreal in Spain as well. So two tough away trips against strong sort of European opposition to wrap up preseason, really. And obviously, it looks like there'll be two different squads that are travelling. I can't imagine that the same squad that goes to Marseille are then going to get on a plane and go to Villarreal and play another game. So I imagine that the team is going to be split, two separate squads. I think Unai will probably look to balance out the squads and be competitive in both games. So you're not going to see a strong team play against Marseille and then a team of kids playing against Villarreal. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think, we've got enough squad depth now, hopefully, that we can send a team of, two lots of teams basically to be competitive. We've definitely got the squad depth to do that. We'll sprinkle in a few kind of youngsters around it as well. But yeah, I very much would imagine that Unai wants to wrap up pre-season on a positive after giving the magnificent result against Roma the other day. I think he just wants to sort of carry on that as well. But the opposition is tough. Marseille, let's look at them first on Saturday. It's a 6 p.m. kickoff in the UK. I think it's 7 p.m. over there. And good luck for those of you that are traveling out there as well. Stay safe. It's a magnificent stadium, the Velodrome, 67,000, I think it holds. So yeah, it should be a great occasion to watch the Villa play in that game there. Obviously, Marseille are managed by ex-Brighton manager Roberto De Zerbi. And Marseille did very well last season, runners-up in Liga, 19 points behind Paris Saint-Germain, who ended up obviously as champions. But they've been busy this summer as well, and they've brought in quite a few new faces. Some of these are loan deals that they've had to convert into permanents as well. But they've been busy. They've got this guy in your picture here, Igor Paixao from Feyenoord for 30 million. He was someone that apparently was on our radar. Leeds were looking at him, and a few other teams were looking at him. And Marseille are the ones that have got him. So interesting to see what he is like in the flesh. He's supposed to be a really speedy, progressive, direct sort of winger, and obviously he gets quite a few goals in the Eredivisie last season for Feyenoord. So it'll be interesting to see how he sort of kicks on his career at Marseille, and we'll be able to have a sort of first-hand look at him tomorrow. So Paixao is it through the door at 30 million. Jonathan Rowe they had on loan last season from Norwich. They've made that move permanent now as well. Pierre Højbjerg from Tottenham as well had on loan, made it permanent. Same goes for Neil Maupay. They've had to make that move permanent as well. But there are rumours that he's looking to move away. Timothy Weah has just joined from Juventus, son of legendary George Weah, who also played for Marseille as well. So, it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think he plays out on the right wing, but they've got him from Juventus. CJ Riley from Burnley, bit of a left field signing, but, Burnley got promoted, but he didn't fancy hanging around, and the lure of the south of France was calling, and he's joined Marseille on a free transfer. Angel Gomez from Lille, good bit of business there on the freebie as well, was linked again with a return to the Premier League. But Marseille are the ones that have got his signature. So interesting to see how he gets on. And he obviously just broke into the England squad recently as well, and looked quite tidy. A very small player, but very tidy player. So interested to see how he gets on. And if we play sort of Onana up against him, it'd be interesting to see how he sort of, adapts to that sort of physical battle there. And then the last signing that they brought back is Pierre Aubameyang, basically. Aubameyang. So ex-Arsenal striker. He was at Marseille. He went to Saudi. Did well there, I think. And then he's been, released and come back. And Marseille have snapped him up once again. So, he's going to be sort of, I wouldn't say leading their attack, but he'll definitely be a player that will contribute this season. They've got players like Mason Greenwood up front, who's been doing really well last season. He got 21 goals in 34 games. So Mason Greenwood will definitely be a danger player for them. And then another striker they've got is Amin Ghouri, who they bought for 19 million from Rennes. Played only 14 games last season, but scored 10 goals. So certainly a striker who knows where the back of the net is. I think he's from Algeria as well. So I'm not sure if he's in Algerian international or is he waiting for a French kind of call up. But yeah, second place in Liga. They will be a threat. De Zerbi's got them playing some good football. They've got a sprinkling of quality players there like Mason Greenwood, who's a really good player. This Paixao guy, be interesting to see how he gets on. Jonathan Rowe is obviously highly rated and did well in that under-21 competition for England. So yeah, be interesting to see how the challenge is with Marseille. But I think as long as we take a strong enough squad here, which I think we will, then I think we could overpower them. I think it might be a game for the likes of Onana to play in this one. I think he's obviously going to have Bizot and Martinez in separate squads. So I think maybe Bizot might play in this one as well. But let's see. There's been no squad announcements and no idea from Emery about what they're exactly doing. But I would imagine it's going to be two separate squads. So let's see what happens there. So for this one, probably Bizot right back. I mean, Garcia's been injured for a little while. We might see Bogard coming back in at right back. You've got Mings and Torres. That will probably be split. I imagine Torres will play in the Villarreal game. So maybe Mings here, maybe with Konsa perhaps. And, maybe we see the likes of TJ Carroll, one of the youngsters sort of coming back into the sort of squad that we saw early on in pre-season as well. Left back, we've got Luca Digne. You've got Martin, maybe Digne with that sort of French understanding and French connection might come in for this one. And then CDM position, I said like Onana, maybe Kamara against his former team. We obviously signed him from Marseille. So that'd be interesting to see if Kamara gets us a chance to, play against Marseille at the Stade Velodrome. And then ahead of that, obviously Emi Buendia did really well in that first half against Roma. I can probably see him starting in this kind of game as well. Maybe a Daniel Marlon from the right. And then maybe we'll see like Jacob Ramsey. Actually, no, probably John McGinn, because I imagine John McGinn will probably be captain for this one. And Emi Martinez will be saved for Villarreal and be captain there. So John McGinn, Emi Buendia, and maybe Marlon perhaps, or maybe put Marlon up front and then you play Bailey from the right, maybe something like that. So that could be the lineup here. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. And then obviously in the Villarreal game, we're looking ahead to that one as well. They've been quieter in the transfer market than Marseille have. They've had a few big outgoings as well. Alex Baena, who's their sort of main player, he's joined Atletico Madrid for 42 million euros. Thierry Barry has joined Everton for 30 million as well. So that's two big outgoings for them. They have signed a guy called Alberto Moliero, who really sort of stood out for Spain in their under-21 competition as well. And he cost them about sort of 20 million. They recently signed Thomas Partey as well on a free transfer from Arsenal. And, they've got the likes of Nicolas Pepe, who's there as well, who's going to be a danger. Iosi Perez, at 30 years of age, is playing his best football, 19 goals last season in 30 games. And with Villarreal, they know how to score. I mean, they were the third highest goal scorers in La Liga last season. So just behind Real Madrid and Barcelona were Villarreal, outscoring Atletico Madrid, Atletico Bilbao, who ended up above them in the league, but they outscored them. So they've got some dangerous players. Pepe, dangermen's there as well. They just beat Arsenal at the Emirates in 3-2 in a friendly game as well, where Pepe scored as well. So they're very much a counter-attacking team, but they break with a lot of pace and purpose. So they will be a danger on their home ground. And their pre-season, they've drawn 1-1 with Leeds. And as I mentioned, just beat Arsenal 3-2 as well. So, for this Villarreal game, I reckon Emi Martinez in goal as captain. Right back, probably see Matty Cash. Centre-backs, I think Pau Torres will play. And then you might see someone like TJ Carroll sort of coming in alongside him, perhaps, because obviously we haven't got Ozcan anymore. Or Mosquera. Mosquera might come in for this one, perhaps. We haven't seen him since early on in the pre-season. And then left back, maybe perhaps Ian Martson. And then the pivot in midfield, maybe Yuri Tielemans to be partnered with. I was going to say Barkley, but he seems to be injured at the moment. So Hemmings would be a good shout to see how he gets on here. So George Hemmings and maybe Tielemans, perhaps together. And then ahead of that, you've got Jacob Ramsey from the left. So obviously John McGinn playing in the other game. In the 10, not sure if Morgan Rogers is going to make this one, but we'll see. I imagine Ollie Watkins would lead the attack for this one, obviously. And then you've probably, I don't know, might be some youngsters coming in there. And this is where the squad is a little bit stretched. I don't think Gasson has been announced yet. And I don't think he'll be, available for these games. But we might see a few sort of academy players kind of coming in. Caden Young, perhaps. Maybe him getting a chance. We saw the like of, was it Jack Pavey getting a chance in the earlier games as well. So these guys might be sort of called upon once again because, you'd imagine Morgan Rogers, Ross Barkley are both out injured. We've also got Alex Moreno. I forgot about him. So he might get a look in here. Could he play further up the pitch? And then we sort of move players around a little bit. So that could be something that we look at as well. We haven't seen anything with Zepi Redmond. I'm not sure if he's still injured, ruled out, but this could be a good opportunity for him to get some minutes into his legs in pre-season. But it's going to be, a mixture of experience and youth, I would imagine, across both squads. And I think he will try to balance it out and go strong. But anyway, guys, just wanted to jump on for sort of 10 minutes and give my thoughts on the games, and looking forward to the weekend and a double header of Aston Villa to watch as well, and see how we wrap up pre-season. And then obviously it all starts for real next Saturday against Newcastle. And they seem to be in a little bit of turmoil with the Alexander Isak situation. So let's see what happens there. And hopefully, we're not done with our transfer business. I think Gassan hopefully will be announced in the next sort of 24 hours. And hopefully we can add maybe one or two more to it as well. But guys, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts. If you're going to the game, good luck with that. Stay safe, enjoy the football. And I'll be back at you with match reactions for both of these games when they both finish, obviously. Take care. Enjoy your Friday. Bye for now.